Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2025 MillbrookEngage Chapel Talk. I'm Carrie Dorr, and this is my first year directing this wonderful program. It's been a true privilege to work with these 14 students since January and help them to prepare for and fulfill their internship responsibilities. Students, I'm so proud of your accomplishments. Many of you didn't know how to write a cover letter or prepare a resume when we first met in January, and now you're here to share the experience you had and knowledge you gained while committing yourself to service this summer. Well done. This year's Chapel Talk is especially exciting, as Mr. Downs alluded to, as it marks the 10th year of the MillbrookEngage program. Founded in 2015, MillbrookEngage provides financial support for a cohort of rising sixth formers to gain real-world skills and experience working for a not-for-profit organization or an organization that aligns with our school's mission. This past summer, these 14 students took our motto of non sibi sed cunctus, not for oneself but for all, to various organizations nationwide, and certainly left their respective spaces better than they found them, while also learning more about themselves and the not-for-profit's interests that they supported. Our school is extremely proud of the MillbrookEngage program, as service is quite literally at the core of our values and is at the very heart of who we are as an institution. As most of you know, nearly every person in our community participates in community service 4 times a week. We know from speaking with alumni that this type of experiential learning resonates heavily in our community and is remembered fondly for years to come. Yes, students, I promise that is true. The MillbrookEngage program was born out of a desire to bring these ideals outside of our 800-acre campus and into the communities close to where our students live. Before we hear directly from the students about their internship experiences, I wanted to, like Mr. Downs, take a moment to acknowledge some of the special guests that we have in the room. These individuals include benefactors of this important and mission-centered program, parents who supported our students in committing their summers to service work, and Mr. Herb Schultz, class of 1963, and his wife Cynthia. Mr. Schultz founded and funded the initial offering of the MillbrookEngage internship program. He came to Millbrook with an idea of how our students could gain real-world skills and experience while also offering their time to not-for-profit organizations. His initiative also paved the way for future donors to come join us and continue to support this incredible program, like the Stanton family. Now, 10 years later, Millbrook School's service-centric summer internship program is thriving and has been successful by every measure. These important folks are all joining us in the first 2 rows. Thank you to each and every one of you for your support. We're going to give you another round of applause. Now it's time to hear from these wonderful 14 students. As in the past, we'll run this as a panel-style format, so please hold your applause till the end. So students, to begin, can you please stand and share with us where you did your work, the mission of the not-for-profit you served, and what your main responsibilities were.
Good evening, my name is Max Amsterdam, and this past summer I had the opportunity to intern at St. Francis Veterinary Medical Center in East Hanover, New Jersey, where I gained valuable hands-on experience in the field of veterinary medicine. During my time at St. Francis, I was involved in a variety of tasks. These included observing surgeries, assisting with routine examinations, helping with animal care, all the way to learning how to properly handle medical equipment. I was also able to interact directly with the animals, which not only provided me with technical skills, but also shed light on the importance of compassion and communication in the field of veterinary medicine. Working closely with Dr. Lewis and the rest of the veterinary team, I gained insight into medical decision-making, treatment planning, client education, and so much more. So through this experience, I was able to see the full scope of what it means to care for animals professionally.
Hey, my name is Josiah Giles. This summer, I interned over at the Millbrook Music Salon in Millbrook, New York. I had a great time there. I don't know if you can tell already. There's so much to say. The mission, the goal of this organization is to foster meaningful connections between audiences and their performers, and celebrating the shared love and value of classical music. While I was at this organization, I did various tasks, in aiding the success of this organization, that being venue prep. We had an event at the Grace Church. I moved hundreds of Bibles in and out of the church. It was insane. If you see here behind me, I put up posters around town, letting people know about these events. I did grant funding research, finding other organizations that give money to small businesses like this. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Maggie Jones, and this summer I volunteered at the Common Good Garden located in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. The mission of the garden is to grow and deliver fresh vegetables to improve the nutritional quality of food available to the needy and to educate the public about gardening by providing hands-on experiences. The Common Good Garden works with Shoreline Soup Kitchen and other pantries around the area. During my time there, I worked with the head gardener and saw how the garden functioned and how tasks were done. I also would harvest the vegetables so they were able to be boxed up for deliveries. On Thursdays, I was a food deliverer, which meant I would bring the produce that we harvested that day and from other farm stands in the area and bring it to the pantry.
Hi, I'm Dylan McNamara, and this summer I worked at Yellow Horse Equine Therapy in Ashaway, Rhode Island. The mission of Yellow Horse is to facilitate physical, social, and emotional growth and learning to individuals, families, and communities through equine-assisted therapy programs. When I worked at Yellow Horse, I worked alongside Director Joy through teaching lessons, doing daily chores, and babysitting 18-month-old Henry. The opportunity to work at Yellow Horse was really eye-opening, and I got to meet so many lovely people.
Hi, my name is Rachel Maven, and this summer I worked at the New Jewish Home in Manhattan. The home provides mostly live-in, but also outpatient healthcare services for older adults from across New York City. And their mission is to provide compassionate care and create a safe community that promotes a speedy recovery. Most of the residents at the home were there to help after injuries from a fall or stroke. And during a typical day, I would start the mornings by passing out newspapers, and in the afternoons, either lead recreational activities like bracelet making or card games, or take residents downstairs and sit and talk to them outside.
Hi, my name is Essie O'Brien, and this summer I volunteered at the Community Center of Northern Westchester. Their mission is to create or build a well-being and stable community for clients to come in and seek help. We help by providing a food pantry and a clothing boutique where residents can come, or clients can come and pick out what they need and how to support their families. And we also offer long-term stability for the clients and help them figure out what jobs and education will help them in the future to support their families and their lives.
Hi, I'm Ella Romick. This summer I had the opportunity to volunteer at Mar Vista Family Center. The mission of the center is to provide quality earlyhood child education, youth enrichment, and multi-generational programming, as well as to support by giving families tools to be able to provide a positive environment in their community. It is built on a collaborative and sustainable method in which generations of families can stay and grow and build together. My role was very similar to a typical camp counselor. I worked with children, especially the youngest group, ages 5 to 8, with basic activities. I helped with drop off and pick up and little things like cleaning up after them, as well as assisting them throughout their daily activities, which included STEM learning, field trips, playing on the field, dance, and more.
Hello, my name is Vivian Rosen, and this summer I worked at Heart of the Hamptons, which is a food pantry located in Southampton. The mission is to help those in our community, and we give food on Wednesdays and Fridays, and we hope to just include people and make sure that everyone's food is distributed. And throughout the week, we prepare food. And on Wednesdays and Fridays is when we distribute the food, and these are my favorite days because this is when we get to communicate with the customers and the clients. and we host food drives, haircuts, and many other events like the Moonlight Plunge, which you can see in the photo. I've worked here for 5 years, so since I was like 11 or 12 years old, I've been working here and I've made my way up. I first started stacking food on shelves, and now I've come to run events and more.
Hi, my name is Maggie Scone, and this summer I interned at MCC, which is the Manhattan Children's Center in New York City. MCC is a school for kids ages 5 to 21 with autism and other neurodiversities. MCC's mission is to offer every child the opportunity to enjoy the highest quality of life and emerge as a functioning member of their respective community. I volunteered as a peer buddy, and I helped work with students who were working on turn taking, so I played games such as Zinco and Chutes and Ladders. I also worked at the Bears Boom and Bakery. The bakery provided hands-on training and real-world work experience, and I helped Sarah, who's the head of the bakery, washing dishes, cleaning them, and prepping cookie ingredients while the students interact with the customers and work the cashier.
Hi, I'm Ingrid Schmidt, and I worked at both the Berkshire Humane Society and Billmar Veterinary Services. So I initially planned on working just at Billmar, but we realized too late that they couldn't take me for the required amount of hours, so I split my time between the two places. And so Billmar focuses on providing quality veterinary care with honesty, compassion, and respect. And there, most of my work was observational, and so I would shadow the vet, see what their day-to-day life would look like. And then at the Berkshire Humane Society, I had a lot more hands-on work, so I got to work with the animals, with socialization, and preparing them for adoption, which was really fun.
Hi, I'm Lucy. In the summer, I worked at the Hill School in Middleburg, Virginia. The Hill School is a private co-ed junior kindergarten through 8th grade school near where I live. The mission of the Hill School is to build character, self-confidence, and scholarship through academic and co-curricular excellence, individualized attention, and a sense of community. At the Hill School, I did a bunch of different jobs, and I worked with a bunch of different teachers and administrators. Things I did varied depending on the week or the day, but I worked with kids, I helped teachers prepare for the upcoming school year, and I managed files and did a bunch of research about financial aid programs.
Hello, my name is Will Troyce, and this summer I volunteered at the Cold Spring Harbor Fish Hatchery and Aquarium, located in Cold Spring Harbor, New York, Long Island. The mission of the hatchery is to serve as an environmental education center, connect people to nature, and encourage stewardship of New York's freshwater ecosystems while continuing to raise and stock trout. Responsibilities in my position included cleaning the systems, which is the fish's waterway, to clean air, feeding the baby trout and rainbow trout, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would assist in fishing lessons to younger students.
Hi, my name is Athena Zarkadoulis, and this past summer I interned at OLA, which is the Latin American organization. It services the 5 most East End towns of Long Island, and it advocates for just and equitable communities for Latinos through government policies and school policies. On the day-to-day, I would help draft paperwork, organize files, help people apply and file for asylum, go to court, and do other daily errands.
Hi, I'm Sophie. This summer I worked at the Valerie H. Snyder Rehabilitation Center at North Carolina Zoo. The mission of the Rehabilitation Center is the same as the North Carolina Zoo's, which is in animal conservation, but they also emphasize rehabilitation, education, research, fostering compassion, civic responsibility, and environmental stewardship. The goal of animal rehabilitation is to care for sick, injured, or orphaned wildlife and to return them back into the wild in optimal condition. At the Rehabilitation Center, I mostly worked in the mammal and avian nurseries with animals including possums, blue jays, cottontail rabbits, red-tailed hawks, and a bunch of other bird species. Daily tasks included feeding, cleaning, setting up enclosures, administering oral medication, and I think that most intricate task was feeding because a bunch of animals had to be hand-fed, with mammals being tube-fed, and birds were fed as often as once every 30 minutes.
Thank you, students, for that intro. Now I'm going to have Max, Maggie Jones, Dylan, Esty, Ingrid, Lucy, and Athena please stand and share why you chose to participate in Millbrook Engage. And current fifth formers, I hope you can pay attention, see if you find any inspiration or any connection, and hopefully you will be inspired to also do Millbrook Engage next summer.
I did Millbrook Engage because as a four-year senior, I've seen many Millbrook Engage presentations, and I thought it was an interesting and unique opportunity that we were able to access. It was also a way to participate in something that I was interested in pursuing when I'm older, and being able to help a community that's in dire need of support right now.
I decided to do Millbrook Engage for two reasons. The first being it allowed me to experience the process of getting an internship, and the second being that I'm considering pursuing a career in education, and Millbrook Engage allowed me to spend my summer in a place that I'm considering working in the future.
My interest in Millbrook Engage stems from my love for animals and my interest in veterinary medicine, both of which I got to pursue in my internships. And I got to work alongside professionals who were very motivated in helping me learn. And so while I was observing what they were doing or helping them with their activities or jobs, I could also have them explain to me why and what they were doing, which was very helpful.
I saw Millbrook Engage as an opportunity to culminate my Millbrook experience in a long and lasting way. I was able to bring all the lessons I've learned here and apply them outside of this community, especially through Spanish skills and communicating with all the clients. It was really helpful, and it has made a great impact on my life here.
I decided to do Millbrook Engage because it allowed me to apply my outside interests to something that benefits others. Working at Yellow Horse allowed me to spend time with a group of people that dedicate themselves to the well-being of others and to provide the disabled with opportunities they might not have had.
Ever since my freshman year, I was certain I wanted to be part of Millbrook Engage because I knew I'd be able to do something I'm passionate about. I really enjoy devoting my time, giving back to my community, and helping people in need. In the past, I've worked at numerous food pantries, yet the Common Good Garden let me do something that was a different side of the process.
There are many reasons why I chose Millbrook Engage, but more specifically to work at a vet office or intern at a vet office, mainly because not many students get to have a chance to do it. Also, I wanted to gain more hands-on experience outside the work that I do at the zoo here. And through my experience at St. Francis, I was able to solidify my passion for veterinary medicine and make it more of a possible career for my future.
Up next, I'm going to have Josiah, Rachel, Ella, Vivian, Maggie Rosconi, Will, and Sophie please stand and share how the internship changed or impacted you.
Good question. This internship impacted me, it definitely gave me a more realistic scope of what being a musician is like. Being one myself, I can certainly say that I spend hours in the practice room thinking that'll get me as far as I need to in life. But there are much more important things than being good at your instrument. Music is a business. 3 things I would certainly say: hard skills. I'm a little better with old people, older crowds. I appreciate classical music much more. And I got to see my boss's home office. That was pretty sick.
At the home, I was constantly reminded that to be excited for the things coming forward, but also not to wish things, to be present in the moment and not to wish that it goes by too quickly. One day I was talking to a resident and we were talking about school and I was telling him I was going into my senior year and he looked straight at me and said, "Don't waste a minute. I sit in here thinking about it every day." And I know I'm guilty of complaining about the dining hall or how much homework I have, but being at the Jewish home, they kept saying how quickly life can go by and how you just have to be grateful for what you have when you have it. And I'm really grateful for that reminder as it's my last year in high school.
Working at the Mar Vista Family Center immersed me in a community that was so vibrant yet so vulnerable. Most of the people in the area were Mexican immigrants that were navigating political unrest, poverty, and limited resources. I saw a lot of parents navigating 2 jobs, children translating for their families, and just this continuous cycle that was really upsetting but also provided me so much insight. One of the great things that I got as a takeaway from it was the economics and the psychology behind all of it, which are now my 2 majors going into college. So it has really pushed that decision to learn about certain things. It taught me really a bit about a new way of equity.
Working at the Heart of the Hamptons has changed me in many ways. I've worked there for a long time, and I think it's kind of shifted who I am as a person, and I'm really grateful for that. Another thing is the relationships I've built with the people there, the clients, along with the other volunteers. The 2 women you might have seen in the photo, the 2 blonde ladies that are identical twins, they have really shaped who I am today, and I've worked with them for a while, and I think in a way they've kind of raised me.
Volunteering at MCC changed me because I got to learn what autism is, how it affects the brain, and how students function every day. I'm extremely grateful for what I have, and capable of what I can do.
Working at the hatchery changed my view on biology. I decided to work at the hatchery because last year biology was one of my toughest subjects, and I wanted to prove to myself that I am able to understand the concepts, and working at the hatchery did achieve that goal.
Through my internship, I gained insight on how a rehabilitation center operates. I advanced my animal handling skills, and I gained a more nuanced understanding of the relationship between humans and wild animals. So coming into this internship, I was pretty apprehensive about having to handle and restrain wild animals, particularly birds, because I had just had no experience in working with them. But after working at the center, I understood that the bulk of animal handling really comes from understanding animal anatomy and physiology and behavior. And so learning about those fields is really going to help me with animal handling in the future. Yeah, thank you.
So now we wanted to give all of you guys the opportunity to ask us questions, whether you're thinking about joining MillbrookEngage in the future, or you just had specific questions for an individual up here or for the group in total. So now's your time to ask questions. Nisha?
This question's for Josiah. What would you say was your favorite moment during your whole internship?
Can you repeat the question just so everyone can hear it?
Oh, sorry.
No, him, with the mic.
Oh,
You repeat the question. His question was, what was my favorite moment from my entire internship? I think my favorite moment was, there's a man, Mr. K, that I met. He's another member of the organization. He was such a sweet guy. I really value him. He taught me, first of all, he taught me how to put up a tent, which, I don't know, is much harder than you guys think it is. And it was like a big, like a football tent. It was huge. You can imagine my big old, he really helped me. I cannot thank him enough. I cannot thank him enough. Meeting him is definitely the best.
No.
My question's kind of for anyone who wants to answer, but how do you feel like you're going to take this experience and use it in future experiences or in like your future work?
So I think that for a lot of us that we chose internships that we wanted to, we chose internships that related to what we wanted to pursue in the future. At least that's in my case. So this internship helped me further my understanding of veterinary medicine and beyond.
Athena?
So one thing that this internship helped me to do is kind of like learn the structure of a normal work day, because I work 9 to 5 around 3 days a week. And I had to learn how to deal with everyone in the office and different schedules, and also having to learn like how the office runs and works.
Other questions? Annabelle?
What's some piece of advice you would offer a student who's interested in MillbrookEngage?
I would say just fully commit to it. Like, if you decide to do it, then do it with your whole heart and bring everything you can to the organization that you end up working for.
I think that it also can be a bit intimidating because at first you realize, well, I'm not making money. Why shouldn't I go and get a job that pays throughout one of my last summers of high school? And, you know, there's all these new benefits about it, and you're not just volunteering and learning how to volunteer and help a community. You're learning how to build a resume, how to build a cover letter, and I've used those things in most else I've done this summer and going into the school year. And I think not just the experience of, you know, working with kids and having my own volunteer opportunity, but how we all learned together, basically another class, was super interesting.
Thank you.
Josiah, how do you think your internship changed you as a man?
You already answered that. Other questions?
I can still answer.
I guess this question's for like Max and Ingrid. As someone that wants to go into pre-med, how did you like reach out to these places, and how much hands-off things did you actually get to do?
So at least for me, I reached out to 3 different vet hospitals. The third one is the one that got back to me. And obviously working in the medicine field is risky for people under the age of 18 due to insurance and other restrictions. So I think for me, it's just networking, talking to as many people as you can. That's why I spend so much of my time at the zoo. I get to speak with the vet there and learn so much more, meet so many new people. So I think that's that was like what helped me the most when entering MillbrookEngage.
So as you know, I only got to work half of my time at the vet office. So I didn't actually get to spend too much time with the vets themselves. I only got to see some of their days, and this is because they are so busy. And so it is hard. It is something that you really have to work for to get this opportunity, but it is worth it to see even just a few days of their week.
One more question?
Do you have any advice on the actual like application process for like going through MillbrookEngage, not just what it comes out, but going into it?
Well, we start off in January, so those of you that are interested, I'll be sending out information soon for how you sign up. We start out in January with a workshop where you learn about writing a resume and writing a cover letter, and we help you through looking at websites and figuring out who's the contact person at this organization that I should send my stuff to. So we really hold your hand through all of that. All of these kids have those documents that they'll be able to use. I mean, I have previous MillbrookEngage students reaching out to me, oh, do you have my resume because I want to use it for this future job. So it's work that will be applicable after you leave Millbrook.
To add on to that, I think just like keeping a list of everything that you do, it not only helped me with filling out my college application, but also the resume part. It made it a much quicker process.
Great, thank you all so much for coming. We hope we inspired you to do MillbrookEngage in the future. Thank you, students.